from Tsimshian. I speak the language, I read, and I've taught the language. They've put me up into a place where they call a hereditary chief, because I speak the language, know the history, know the laws, and all that part. As usual, the Johnny-come-lately, the later people, were the ones that showed the segregation and enforced it and what have you. There were signs, no Indians allowed, no dogs and Indians allowed. We can go to the bathroom only at certain floats in the Thomas Basin or at Japanese restaurants. Yet they loved our money. The older people, older merchants were not that way. In fact, they set us up so I, as a youngster, could go in there and sign my name, and I had a credit list on that in that store. I'd pay it all off at the end of fishing season. Education to the natives was limited. I know my grandfather and his group, they all came back as shoemakers or tailors. And it was the same old part of the women didn't have a chance to go to school or anything. So when Duncan came and took us over on this side, he made it equal, gave both sides a chance to get educated. Well, here's something that would be of interest to the younger generation. Duncan believed in educating our people through our own language. Sheldon Jackson said, "Your language is no good, go strictly English." And for a long time we were quite a ways ahead of the other group, because we were able to pass on what we learned about different machineries, how they did this and that faster. Where everyone had to learn and speak English to go and move on what Jackson taught. Not that he didn't do well. Throughout the segregation part is when I'd go into Ketchikan. I had relatives there, and they'd tell me where to go and what kind of lines we had to follow. Finished grade school in Metlakatla, and I had to go on, wanted to go on to higher education of some kind. I even wrote a letter to one of the ads for the diesel mechanic. I was too young, not educated enough, didn't have enough math. But then I started going back.
Up outside.
You sit down. Yeah, it's Grandpa. The Bureau of Indian Affairs, the school ground, was a place where they wanted English only. As soon as you step off of that school ground, it was our own language. And so we would be speaking to our own people, and it was it's a hard thing to go and make our young people understand that percentage-wise, speaking our own language is a lot more, way more than what it is now. I doubt if we have 35 people who speak our language in the community, even with the ones on the outside, and most of them not as well. Simply because we don't have meetings. Those days there was no wonder medicines, and I ended up having tonsil problems every year, and I'd miss 3 or 4 months, and finally they just put me back and let my sisters go on. And when I finally finished, and the way they had us face up different diseases was go and get it over with. When whooping cough came in through the community, I had to go visit my friends and get it, and it was all over. I got chicken pox, measles. But TB was something different that nobody really knew what it was. Mount Edgecombe Hospital became the TB hospital centers for the natives. But a week before graduation, the end of the school year, our last week, my job and the whole family was to go to all the elders of our family and find out what their needs were, and I'd report at supper time. Right after school, I'd go to all the grandmas and all the grandpas. In one of my grandmother's place there, I remember I had sneakers on. I jumped up on the porch and I was walking. I was going to say boo, frightened grandma. And I heard her voice saying, "And do you know what? And I'm going to have my grandson Arnold get married as soon as the season is over. I'm fishing. I already chose the girl that he's going to marry." I turned around and looked back. I thought, sat on the beach. Grandma going to boss me around. My mom and dad, my other grandparents didn't say that. That's possible. And my father at that time said, "You're not going to be a fisherman. That's a gambler's part.